You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Kay Adams, Denise Welsh, Linda Robson, and Judy Love.
Welcome to your Thursday Loose Women. Coming up, after rapper KSI revealed that his poor A-level exam results sent his parents into a tailspin, we're asking whether parents should ever punish their children over bad grades. And move over Mills and Boon. After a surge in women turning to audio erotica, we're putting it to the test. I'm not sure it's wise, but we're going to do it. We'll have our verdict a little bit later on. It's not often Denzi Welsh has been lost for words, but there you go. Also...
Oh.
Have I come to the right place? Only there's no one around the front and I couldn't find a bell. I'm Bernice.
25 years of Bernice. Actress Samantha Giles will be here live with the latest on the soap, including the wild way that the cast celebrated the show's 50th anniversary. Well, picture this. So you get a text from a family member saying that they're out shopping, but they've left their phone in their purse at home. They say they've got a debit card on them, but there's barely a penny in the account that it's linked to, so they ask you to transfer them some money. This is nicknamed the son and daughter scam. That's the latest con sweeping Britain, and you nearly got caught out with it the other day, is that right?
Very nearly. So a couple of weeks ago, I was here at Loose Women. I was
Yeah.
in my dressing room and I got a text message from my daughter saying, Mum, I've dropped my phone down the toilet, so it's got all water in it, so you won't be able to get in touch with me today. So I then tried to ring her.
And you definitely thought that was from your daughter?
I definitely thought, because the way she was answering me, it's like, she said, my microphone doesn't work. OK, she was starting a new job that day. I said, oh, good luck at the job and let me know how you get on.
What did it say at the top when the phone rang? Did it say Bobby Girl?
It said,
yeah.
no, it was just a number, because she said her phone was dropped down the toilet, so I didn't know it was her number. So I then tried to ring her, and then she texted me back saying it's waterlogged. Anyway, eventually, so look, love you too, Mum, speak to you. So that's exactly how we would speak, so I genuinely thought it was my daughter. Then she said, can you send me over your bank details? I don't have my bank details. I'll get pocket money on a Monday and a Friday because I spend all my money, so I don't even know my bank details. So when she said that, I thought, oh, no, that don't sound right. She knows what my bank details are. So I said, Bobby Girl. I said, what's our dog's name? So they said Milo. And I won't tell you what I said, but I said a swearing word because our dog's name's Dolly. And that's when I knew that it was a scam then. So luckily I didn't transfer any money over. But loads of people have been sending money over to them. My sister did as well.
I have never heard of anything that's quite so kind of personal. I mean, I've got the code. In fact, I got one last night from PayPal, apparently. Yeah. And I mean, I just delete them all now. You know, I probably actually delete important stuff properly from my bank because I'm just nervous.
But if it's really important, they'll come back to you, won't they?
Well, I guess.
Or you get a confirmation by post.
Before my dad died in the last few years of his life, we used to panic because Dad loved a chat. So, of course, if someone, you know, they're very good at all this, hello, Vin, how are you, blah, 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 blah. Dad would get caught out and he'd say they were really nice. And the thing is, even me, who's not very good with money, but the one thing I would know, never, ever, ever, ever give your PIN number to anybody. I did.
Wow.
Because this was a couple of years ago that I got a call that came up on my Barclays. So at the top of my phone, it said Barclays. They said they were the fraud squad. And over a couple of days, they were saying that there was attempts to take the money out. And eventually, they were
they kept it going over
They kept it going over 2 days. I was doing a play. They kept it going over 2 days. But every time they called, it came up on the Barclays number that I had it listed under. So I didn't question it. And eventually, I gave them my PIN number because I honestly thought they took 1,000 out, and luckily I can't actually remember, but it all stopped. But what I've now said to my bank is, if they ring me and you'll know this, they ring you, but then they say, we need to go through some security questions. It's like, no, you rang me.
It's so true.
You rang me, so I don't want to impart this information to
so
you.
true.
And just very quickly, the other thing I've said in my doctors is, you know, I've got little pharmacy attached to me doctors. There's 6 or 7 people in there. They give you your tablets and they go, what's your address? and people go, 22 Farnborough Drive. It's like, I don't want to give you my address in front of everybody.
It just takes...
You got that off your chest.
I hear you
You've
about
got to be
pharmacy.
so careful, because they're so clever.
I suppose we'd be careful. We wouldn't leave a bag, like, on a chair on a bus beside us, wouldn't we? Because we'd be worried that somebody would take it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to be the same with all this kind of stuff, because it's the way we do our banking, isn't it?
And it's affecting everybody. Now we've got all these different apps and so on, and we're so busy and consumed. It's so easy. It happened to me one time when I was here, before, you know, I was going on Loose. And the way they get you, the phone rang and they said they were my bank. And they did exactly what you said. And it's so weird you bring that up, because it's true. You just go, OK, yeah, this is my date of birth, this is whatever. And then...
I never give my date of birth.
Right, OK. But they said to me... they said they were the fraud team, so you start to get nervous from then, you know, and then they were saying to me, look, was you in Newcastle this morning? I'm like, no, I'm in London. Like, yeah, there's money's come out of your account, what we can see, and so on, and we've held it. You won't see it on your app, because we've held it, because it just seems like a weird transaction.
Were you speaking to her like a real person?
A real person. So I was like, oh, my gosh. I was like, OK. And it came up, I think, private number, which I was used to. And then I was like, oh, my gosh, OK. And they were like, right, we want to put a stop to this. I'm going to send you a code, and can you send it back to me? Tell me to read the code out. He made it like it was security, and then I can stop this transaction. So in the moment, I was panicking. And then he said... he could stop the transaction. I'm like, but you're the bank. Can't you just stop it there and then? But then a thing that caught me off is he kept on towards, like, the first minute. He was very, how was speaking to you, very, like, bank kind of voice. And then towards the end, he kept on saying, you get me? And I was like, Something don't sound right here. I don't get you, right? And then I looked, and then I just said to him, you know what, I will call you back. And he was like, no, we really want to stop this. And then in that moment, I blanked him out and I thought, listen, think.
Yeah, right.
Just got your money, think, girl. And I looked at it, and the code he was asking for was a code to give him authorisation to set up the bank app on his phone. So I would have gave the code.
That's so clever.
It would have set up, and then he hanged up, and then they called back another day, and it was a girl, and she was like, "Ugh," and I was like, listen, please. And I told her the same words that Aunt Linda's husband.
Begins with it.
Well, you know, if you are concerned that you may have fallen victim to a scam, and there are so many of them around, all the information that you need to get some support is on our website. And apparently only 1 in 1,000 fraud cases lead to a charge. So, you know, you really don't want to get caught out at all. Now, Lily Allen and her husband, David Harbour, have given fans a tour of their weird and wonderful Brooklyn townhouse. However, some fans have been left questioning they've got a double sofa. So this is like 2 sofas. Is it 2 sofas back to back, or is it one sofa that just has like two sides to it? And she kind of jokes that they can have a sofa each if they don't want to talk to each other, which, I don't know, it must just be a huge room or something. I don't know what is going on there. But, I mean, your sofa's a very special place, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I love that. I love that house. We've got lots of colouring and stuff as well. We were talking about colour, weren't we? I love colour, so I love that house. Yeah, there is a sofa spot. We've only got the one sofa, but it's the L-shaped sofa, like that. And Lincoln and I fight over the L bit all the time, because I like to lie there on the L bit with my, what he calls a sloth, because I spend so much time on my sofa. He calls me Neil the Sloth from the DFS advert. so we now, because I used to have a sort of grey-brown thing, I just used to look like a sloth, and I move about as much as that.
There she is, look at her.
I am.
It's uncanny.
There I am. Except I'm more sort of horizontal than that, but thank God that does look like me without me.
You're very flexible in your hips, I have to say.
Very flexible with my hips. And but anyway, so we fight over that, and I usually lose. But yeah, I think that where you sit on the sofa is very, very important.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I don't like anyone else on the sofa, which is kind of bad because.
What, the whole sofa?
I want the whole sofa.
Really?
Yeah. And I like this corner. this corner here, and I'm there, and I've got a sort of rug thing as well, which is absolutely manky. I must wash it one day, but terrible. And then so got a little table there for my cup of tea.
Where does Ian sit then?
He's over in that chair over there. Television's there. The dog is here. The dog is the only other creature.
But the dog sounds like it's got more priority than Ian.
Oh, 100%. Thank you.
Well,
and I tell you what, if I come in and Bonnie, my daughter, she's sometimes trying to get my spot. She'll come in and she's there, I go, out.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's the same thing. My space is in the corner. We've all got these L shapes.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to get bigger houses or something. Right, we've got this L shape, and I like to sit at the edge there because I can lean on it, I can put my legs up, and then the table's just there where I can put my cup and my snacks and my chocolates and my popcake and all the rest of stuff. And then sometimes, like you, I'll come in, and it's particularly my son, he's a little wind-up merchant, love him to pieces, but he will come in and just sit there knowing that's my spot, and I'm literally like, get up, come on. Like, move. Like, he knows. I'm just like, move. But, yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
The deal is, if Lincoln gets the major sloth position, I have to lie on the other bit and put my sloth feet on him, and he has to play with me feet. That's the deal.
I'm a bit like Kay. I've got a sofa. We've got 2 sofas and we've got a love chair in the house. But my sofa...
What's that?
It's called a love chair, so 2 people can sit on it. I like my sofa, and I'm the same as you. The dog's allowed on the sofa, the kids ain't. Even my granddaughter's ain't allowed on the sofa. And then when they go, I have to clear up the crisps and everything that are under the cushions on the sofa and that. But I love my sofa. I absolutely love it. And it's right by a radiator, so it's all nice and warm, and I get...
I just think the sofa is so... I mean, I can... Honestly, listen, I work hard and I relax hard, is what I say.
Nice.
But I can literally lie on that sofa. When Making a Murderer was out, do you remember that real-life crime series, Making a Murderer? I watched a 13-hour binge session of that. And I went to the toilet once, and if I'd had a bedpan, life would have been perfect.
I could not do that. I could not do that. Still to come, Move Over, 50 Shades of Grey. Gen Z are getting their kicks differently nowadays, and they're listening to steamy romance stories instead of reading them. Could lie on the sofa and do that, Gen Z.
The love sofa.
Yeah. We're going to be putting that to the test a little bit later on. And an Emmerdale legend, Samantha Giles, will be live in the studio, revealing why Bernice is heading towards an epic showdown. We'll see you very soon. Denise was subjected to a case of mistaken identity on stage at one of Matty's gigs. We're talking about our own family sing-songs, and it's getting hot in here. It's the modern-day version of a steamy Mills and Boons novel. But if you're too busy to pick up a book and physically read it, then why not listen to your audio erotica instead? Yeah, that's exactly what people are doing, and we are going to be putting it to the test. Yeah. Competition time now, and your chance to win £60,000. You've got to be quick, as lines close at 3 p.m. tomorrow. And Josie is in Llanelli for us. Hi, Josie.
Good afternoon, ladies. Yes, I'm having a lovely time in Llanelli Wetland Centre, where we're celebrating World Wetland Day. Now, I'm joined by Dr. Brian Briggs, and we're going to be taking to a canoe in a little while. And what wildlife can we expect to see, Dr. Briggs?
Well, we're home to lots and lots of wonderful wetland species, and this morning our family of otters, wild otters, have been seen, so I'm hoping there's a slim chance.
Right, we're going to try and find you guys an otter, aren't we, Dr. Briggs? But before I do that, I've got an incredible competition to tell you about. How do you fancy being £60,000 richer? Yes, that's right, we're giving away £60,000 in tax-free cash, as well as this beautiful Jeep Compass worth over £44,000, a combined price total of over £104,000. It could all be yours, and lines close tomorrow at 3 p.m. So pick up the phone, you haven't got long. Here's all the details.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY03 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over and lines close tomorrow at 3 p.m. Good luck!
I'm about to take to this canoe and find some wildlife. I'm really hoping I can find an otter for you, but I hope you've picked up the phone and got the entry in. £60,000 and a brand new Jeep could be yours. Good luck.
Thanks, Josie. Don't bother about finding an otter. Go find a pub, love. Off you pop.
Oh, that's what I think I need. Yeah.
Good luck. Now, YouTuber, rapper and all-round business mogul KSI has recalled his parents' reaction to his poor A-level grades. He's now worth a reported 8 figures. He confessed to hiding in a toilet after he received his results before he plucked up the courage to show his parents. He said, "My mum just screamed. I have never heard my mum scream so loud. She was throwing glasses everywhere. My dad was just disappointed. He looked on the ground and he didn't know what to say or do. It was quite hard." He said, "It just crushed me." Obviously, a lot of academic pressure in that household, Judy, and a lot of kids these days.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's different dynamics to it. You know, for some, there's cultural dynamics, you know, in particular African countries that are really, you know, that's their focus. You know, education is really important, and from West Indian cultures as well. But when I say those particular elements that make it a bit different, for me, I am one. I want them to get the grades. I want them to do well, and it's probably me projecting a lot more of my fear as a black woman, a black British woman, that I know that in the black community you have to do more. You can't just settle for less. You have to. There's a pressure of trying to get a better education, because to go into that job, even if you have got the qualifications, somebody else who's not black would probably get it before you. This is not just me talking, it's the statistics, yeah? So with those kind of things and the issues in education system, hospital system, all kind of systems, it makes me worry that, you know, I want my kids to be able to have everything that they can to bring them the best opportunities.
So would you be visibly disappointed if they came home with grades that you didn't feel were up to scratch?
I think I'd be disappointed if I knew they didn't put their best effort in. Yeah. You know, I think that's the thing. The young people, I was having this conversation with my younger son the other day, and we was talking about the last, you know, 2 years of the pandemic, and how hard it's impacted those who had to do GCSEs through it. So I think if I know you put your best effort forward, then, you know, I'm going to be supportive. If I feel like you didn't put your best effort forward, then I would have a conversation with you and say, look, you know you didn't put your best effort forward. This is your education. I've done mine. What can I, especially if I've put out all the things for you.
And you want to give them choices.
Yeah, especially if I've put all the things that for them to support them. I want them to have choices and opportunities.
The problem is that not all kids are academic, but that doesn't mean that they're not talented. You know, exactly. They could be talented in other areas. I mean, your boys
my
were
kids
kind
are
of
the
more
prime
creative.
example of that. I mean, I think that I was a great parent in many ways, and I think I wasn't in other ways, you know. And should I have pushed my kids academically harder? Probably. They didn't like school very much. School wasn't doing it for them, but it didn't for me. I loved school, but I loved it for the boys and the social life. And, you know, it wasn't until...
Did you get a good grade in that?
Yeah, very good. When I found drama, it was something that like a light went on. It sounds really corny, but it was. It was something that I could do and that I was patted on the back from. Similarly, Matty with music and Louis with acting. So should I have pushed them harder academically? Probably. They are incredibly intelligent and they're both doing swimmingly at their chosen career, and I'd want them to be happy. But Matty now has said, I wish I had worked harder at school. I wish I had got a degree. Yeah, he's very intelligent, you know. I may well get a degree further down the line. He doesn't need one. He's a successful rock star, but he would quite like one. So, you know...
Which is interesting, because it's never too late to go into learning.
No,
I mean, you went back to education.
Yeah, I went back at later stage enough, and you're coming from a working class background as well. I think because it was working class, I was a single mum, I went back and did my degree and masters to almost prove to myself. So I didn't even just worry about society labelling, but I didn't label myself. Not saying that education is for everybody, but I don't want you to feel like it's not just because you deem to tick certain boxes.
Yeah. I was desperate for one of my kids to go to uni. You know, when you get in the car and you talk to your driver, you go, oh, what do your kids do? Mine are at uni. I go, oh, really? I just wanted to say one day, yeah, my son or my daughter's at uni, but they never went to uni. But they've still done well. The three of them have done really, really.
And uni's not for everybody. It's really not for everybody.
It wouldn't have been for me, but I just wanted one of them to.
But I mean, given that you were kind of working from a really early age,
so I didn't really get a good education because we had a tutor.
Why was it important to you for your kids?
I don't know, because I was working with so many sort of middle-class people whose kids were at uni that I just wanted to say, oh, yeah, mine is too. Anyway, I've still got my granddaughters. One of them might go to uni.
And I feel sorry for this guy we're talking about whose parents, you know, it was almost like their life was over because he didn't get... I mean, that's a horrible pressure to put on your children.
I think, again, it's projection of your own fear of what you've had
KSI,
to sacrifice.
I don't mean he's had the last laugh, but my goodness, he's certainly proven himself.
Which is probably very proud.
In terms of... I was looking for a poll that we've done, which I've eventually found, but I couldn't get the iPad off of audio erotica. So if I was looking a bit distracted, that is why. But we did say, would you punish your kid for bad grades? Only 7% said yes.
Yeah, no.
93% said no. Still to come, Emmerdale's Samantha Giles will be here with the latest on Bernice B&B drama and opening up about her scary experience with the menopause. And after a dramatic rise in people, women in particular... It's all yours, Judy. Turning to erotica through their headphones. We're putting it to the test. Live. What could go wrong? See you after this.
Tomorrow, twinkle-toed Helen Skelton steps into the studio to tell all about that dance. And Liverpool legends Claire Sweeney and Alex Fletcher reunite with our very own Sinatra to dish on Brookside's return. Tomorrow at 12:30 on Loose Women.
Loose Women. Keeping you company this afternoon is Linda Robson, Judy Love, Denise Welsh and me, Kay Adams. Still to come today, Denise reveals her embarrassing case of mistaken identity, and Emmerdale's Bernice, that's Samantha Giles, will be here talking everything from soaps to the supernatural. Now, if you are a fan of a steamy romance novel, you might be interested in this. Youngsters, I love that, are apparently plugging in their headphones and choosing to listen to erotic romance stories instead of reading them. So there's increasing numbers of apps offering naughty stories, with some claiming their listenership has rocketed by more than 50%. It apparently started in lockdown and it's been called a wellness trend. I don't know quite how, which provides physical pleasure whilst allowing imaginations to run wild. You get what I'm saying?
Well, that is wellness. It's supposed to be, you know, taken care of.
Yeah. Well, we are actually going to play some out for you. Here we go. This is the sort of cleanish end of it. So can we all listen, everyone?
Baby, are you in here?
Yes.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you doing? Yeah? You know, you've been in here working for hours. Don't you think it's time to maybe call it for the night? It's pretty late. I know you have a lot to do. You've talked about it a lot, and I empathize, but... Sweetheart, you need to sleep, too. It's important. More than just sleeping, even. You need to take care of yourself.
Well,
thought that's what he was there for.
Denise, you've got a face like a slapped haddock.
It's the worst voice. It's the worst voice I've ever heard. The most unsexy voice. I apologise to whatever it is, but that would be like me asking Alan Carr to get me off.
Okay. But, I mean, if you like the voice, would you like the idea of it?
Do you know what? I feel the issue... we're so, like, funny about sex Are we allowed to say sex?
Yes,
Yeah. Well, she just...
I just said get
Yeah.
You know, I think that we're so funny about it, and it's a natural thing, and it's with the person you love. Or if that person you love, it might be just with yourself. And if that little bit of zhuzh in your air helps you release for your well-being, then do you, boo-boo. I don't want to know what you're doing. Do you, boo-boo.
And also, Judy, no matter how happily married you are, there's nothing wrong with a solo flight.
It was the voice, though.
Just blow into this tube. Yeah.
It was the voice. That voice was enough
So if there was another,
sick.
what voice would you like?
I would like Thierry Henry. So he's a footballer. He's French, and I had to go and interview him once, and I just sat there like that, looking at him the whole time. And he's just got the most amazing accent as well.
All right. So if Thierry Henry was going to record one of those, would you?
I would be very happy to listen to that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like a Scouse.
You
Scouser?
Yeah, Scouser. Like a posh Scouser.
Like who? John Bishop?
Yeah, he's got a lovely voice, but you know, it's got to be a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? A little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more. I can't do a Scouse accent.
It's a manly.
It's just got that would or very well spoken guy.
Right.
Oh my God, Judy, you're looking absolutely gorgeous.
Oh God, yeah. I'm done.
What voice would you go for?
Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Oh.
The audience agrees.
Because I'd also have to know what the person in real life looked like and what they were offering, and I've heard it's all very nice with Liam.
Because there's plenty of him.
There's plenty of him. Well,
I mean,
put, Linda.
It did get a little bit more racy, didn't it? And unfortunately, we can't let you all hear this on daytime, but we did listen through headphones, and this is our reaction. So we're all listening to the same thing. And
that same voice, by the way, that guy.
It wasn't a little bit racy. It was a lot.
It gets very sexual, doesn't it? I'm laughing for some reason. Linda, you look in shock.
I have never seen Denise look so disgusted.
Me going, is that a guy?
Is that Alan Carr? Well, you're enjoying it, Judy. Did you enjoy it?
Do you know what? I thought it was quite funny. I thought if that was your own partner having that saucy talk with you, it'd be quite good.
I mean, did it do it for you?
No.
I think no.
And also, I'd love to do a poll of these youngsters who are listening to that. Who are they?
And why are they listening to it so young? Go out there and experience it yourself.
Well, like you say, if it floats your boat, you just crack on with it. That's absolutely fine.
Or crack off.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad we've finished that item. Denise, you've been the unfortunate victim of mistaken identity recently.
Well, it wasn't at one of Matty's gigs now. What I saw on Twitter the other day, this is when he was about 15, and he was a drummer, and his dad was singing, and they think that I'm the woman on sax. Oh
my God.
It has to move along. It's not showing the woman. There's a blonde on the sax, and they think it's me on the sax, as if I would have never got me sax out for the lads. Do you know what I mean? But the one thing that does get me about the short blonde hair is that I'll be out somewhere, and somebody will come up to me and they'll go, "Oh my God, can you just wait here for 1 minute? Because my friend, everybody mistakes her for you." And someone will come out the toilet who's 97 with one tooth. and I have to go, it's like looking in a mirror.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's happened to me.
It's so uncomfortable because you're like...
Oh, my God! Honestly, blimey!
But, I mean, OK, that wasn't you in the sax, but are you like a singy family?
Well, obviously, my son's a musician. His dad is a sort of an actor, but is also a great singer. We had lots of musician friends, so there was lots of music and singing in the house. But my mum, when we used to all go away in the car in the olden days without any seatbelts, and you had my mother she always had a full packet of beech nut chewing gum on her knee, and 40 players untipped, like this. And then she'd always make us sing, and she'd start the song, and then she'd go, harmonise! Harmonise! Like this. One of the ones that Debbie and I, it was like, what do you call them when you do a round? So this is the one, you might remember this if there's anybody old enough. So it goes, in a tiny house,
In a tiny house,
by a tiny stream,
by a tiny stream,
lived a lovely lass,
lived a lovely lass,
had a lovely dream,
had a lovely dream,
and the dream came true.
and the dream came true.
All together.
Quite unexpectedly, in Italy, for Captain Ellen Bogan by the sea.
There we go.
Well done, audience.
That's so sweet.
You never heard that before, did you?
Never. I had my own West Indian one, which was hush, mama, baby, baby, want go do. Hush, mama, baby, baby, want go sleep. Do you know that? There's a couple West Indians in it going, oh my God. Yeah, they pat you as you do it in mama's chest.
Do you know that one? Do you know that one?
Yeah.
We used to do that. Hilarious.
Everything about you is that, isn't it? Everything about you is that. Still to come. She's got all the gossip from the Dale. Samantha Giles will be here live telling us what's in store for Bernice and her fight to take over the B&B. We'll see you soon.
There's a tiny house.
There's a tiny house
By a tiny stream.
by a tiny stream
Where a lovely lass
where a lovely lass
had a lovely dream.
had a lovely.
Drama, betrayal, gossip and heartache. It can only mean one thing. It is Super Soap Month. We'll be joined by the bosses who masterminded all the sensational stories and twists and turns that keep audiences guessing and decide which relationships bloom and which ones are doomed. Super Soap Month. This month on Loose Women. Still to come, Emmerdale's Bernice, that's actress Samantha Giles, will be live in the studio. But it's competition time now, and lines close at 3 p.m. tomorrow for a prize package worth more than £104,000. And Josie is chasing otters in Llanelli. Hi, Josie. Oh, she's in a canoe.
Hello, ladies. I'm in a canoe. Yes, I'm looking for wildlife the best way possible. In a canoe at Llanelli Wetlands Centre is absolutely beautiful down here, and I can confirm I saw a kingfisher earlier, and I can see a couple of blue tits. Oh no, that's just our cameraman and Soundy. But before they kill me for that joke, let me tell you about our incredible competition. It starts off with £60,000 in tax-free cash. Yours to have the adventure of a lifetime. And we're also going to throw in this, a brand new Jeep Compass worth over £44,000. It comes in a beautiful alpine white. It's got all the mod cons. It's a hybrid and it's worth over £44,000. A combined prize total there of £104,000. It could all be yours, but you haven't got long. You need to pick up the phone because lines are closing tomorrow at 3 p.m. So here's all the details. Good luck. Got to find some otters. Sick of these blue tits.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY03 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over and lines close tomorrow at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Now, our guest today is a woman of many talents. Samantha Giles is an actress, published author, and even a weaver of spells. But you might know her best as Emmerdale's glamour poos, Bernice Blackstock, who's been on the show for an incredible 25 years.
You realise my love life is practically your only topic of conversation. Bernice, I can't sing.
I think that one peaked a bit early.
My dad's didn't peak too early. Well, I know it was our first time, but if you hadn't had to rush back here, we could have carried on for ages. So naughty. Isn't it just? You're knocking off our local GP. Oh, Mum.
Oh, this can't be happening.
Oh, what did you do that for? To save her the bother. I'm trying to save you. And I'm saving you from yourself. No one likes a drunken bride. Better. Better. Thank you.
Well, she's never shy of drama. Please welcome Samantha Giles. You've had a whale of a time for 25 years, haven't you?
Well, it's frightening when you say 25 years because it's not really. I mean, because I had 10 years out, so it feels like 2 different jobs, you know. But yeah, 25 years, I'd had no idea it was that long.
Does it feel different? What's changed from when, you know, obviously having that break? What feels more different about it?
Well, I suppose because I was out for 10 years, so I changed a lot. You know, I had my family, I had my 2 girls and everything, and then I went back when my youngest was just a baby. She was 6 weeks old. And so it's sort of like now I'm not doing all the going out and all that stuff that I did when I very first was in it. You know, I'm just coming home because I live in Liverpool
Yeah, back in the day, you had to fit work in between going out, didn't you?
Yes, exactly. And also I lived down in Windsor, so I was commuting. You know, it's a massive commute. So you're only getting home at weekends, whereas now, because I'm only just across the Pennines, I can get home pretty much most nights, which is good.
So it has kind of followed your life, hasn't it? Because, I mean, I know the menopause storyline, you know, has been followed through Bernice, and that's something you experienced yourself. So, you know, it's kind of going side by side with you, isn't it?
It is a bit. I mean, she's slightly older than me, I hasten to add. just about 3 or 4 years, you know. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm starting all that, you know, menopause stuff myself. I've been going through that a little bit in real life, which it's tough, isn't it? And it's even when you know, go down the HRT route and start that, it doesn't solve everything. It's not, you know, a cure-all thing. And you're just having to navigate a different kind of life, aren't you, from when you were really young.
Yeah, I suppose with the fact that your character's going through it means on set it's something that you can talk about. So, I mean, for a lot of people, women in workplaces, it's still something they feel a bit awkward about. Yeah. Whereas I guess it's pretty open on everything.
It is very open, and also you get to do things like Bernice screamed in the shop. You know, she just lost it and she just screamed. And there's many times when I feel like doing that in real life. You know, don't you? When you've been in a shop and you just feel like going, ah! And of course, so you can get away with doing that on TV. And
on a more personal level, Sam, something that I'm fascinated about is that you follow the Wicca religion.
Yeah.
So in theory, you're a white witch. Yeah. Now, I know that the word witch can still conjure up a negative connotation, but it's not. Can you just sort of do an elevator pitch of what Wicca is?
Yeah. So basically, all Wicca is following the nature, really, and revering nature and following the seasons, trying to eat seasonal food. If you like, sort of, you know, toasting the full moon. You know, if you've got crystals, then you recharge them on a full moon. So it's basically revering nature and kind of, you know, getting out there in the natural world. You can do the witchcraft bit of it, the spells and so on, if you want to, but you don't have to.
And do you think they work? Have they worked for you?
Oh, yeah, they absolutely work. It's the same as, it's along the same vein as manifestation. Yeah. And kind of little, I call them self-help kits now, because if you say to somebody, here's a magic spell kit, they're going to go, ooh, what's that? But if you say it's a self-help kit, then people
you said there's a bit of a witch in all of us. You sage, don't you? You do the sage.
Yeah, I'll sage out the house. I mean, I think it wards off evil spirits and stuff. Or, you know, I have friends or family members and they're like, oh, I had a dream. And you're like, oh, what? And then something happens. Or I'm always, when there's someone close to me that's pregnant, I usually pick up symptoms. I start feeling quite sick and things like that. Yeah.
Like you have a phantom pregnancy?
Yeah, it's like I start to feel quite sick and then I usually phone my friends, who's pregnant, and pregnant. And then 6 weeks later, one of them is pregnant.
You're not feeling sick right now, I hope.
Yeah, no. Well, but so
that would be a miracle.
That would be an immaculate conception.
I think maybe obviously there's different, you know, labels and yours is a religion. So for me, it's just a thing of maybe I'll think about intuition. But yeah, it's interesting to hear what you're saying because there is at times have been a negative connotation.
Definitely. Were you from a sort of a spiritual family? Is that how you came to it?
Well, my mum kind of has always used to say, oh, I could get on my broomstick and fly around now. You know, obviously joking. She didn't really have a broomstick. And she used to be able to, you know, she'd say, let me look in your hand, and she'd tell us all sorts of things. And then she lost that ability as she got older. She used to see animals with people as well. So I think it's just something that we've kind of grown up with, knowing that, you know, Mum's had this sort of ability. And then I just kind of took it a bit further and, you know, learnt how to do tarot cards, and just got more interested in, you know, more spiritual side of life, I suppose.
We might start to see that in Bernice. I mean, she might start to sage out the B&B if she does manage to get the B&B.
She has done something with Sage, but she doesn't quite take it. You know, she doesn't really understand what she's doing, I don't think. I think she just sort of... She probably liked the outfit that, you know, that the person was wearing when they sold it to her, so, you know.
I mean, that's the storyline at the moment, isn't it, in a bidding war with her sister over getting the B&B with Bob. I think we've actually got a preview clip. Let's have a little look. Here we go.
What are you doing?
Don't interrupt me. I'm communicating with the building.
Oh, right. What's it saying?
She's saying she's glad we're going to be her new owners.
Well, she might have jumped the gun a bit there because I still haven't got my half the deposit.
Oh, I thought you were going to move a few things round, sell a few assets.
I've stripped the house of everything I can sell for a few quid.
What are you doing here? Just having a last look round. You? Planning the renovations. I'm sure you'll inject your personality into the place. I will. Be an empty, soulless husk in no time.
Yes. She's going to have to give that B&B a good makeover, isn't she, if she gets it?
Well, you know if she gets it, you can imagine, can't you, how
There's going to be a waterbed, isn't there?
Oh, yes. It's going to have the full works,
Do you see yourself staying at Emmerdale for much longer, or are you still enjoying it as much as you did at the beginning?
Well, I am enjoying it. I mean, I've never lost that thing of, you know, wanting to go and do other things, you know, like the stage. I really miss, you know, theatre because you just... It's like this, you know, you've got your audience there, you're having a relationship with your audience.
Right, straight away, isn't it?
And you've had some big storylines as well, haven't you? You caught your partner having an affair, a gay affair, and also you had an affair with your sister's partner.
I know, yeah. She's definitely a bit of a man-eater, Bernice. She's had a few men, but she's on a dry patch at the moment. There's nobody.
She might need some of those audios.
Yeah, I was going to say. What did you reckon? Did you hear the voice over of the audio?
I heard the voice, and it didn't do anything for me.
No,
made me feel sick.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, it's not for me, that kind of thing. It's
but each to their own.
What do you hope for Bernice then? What do you hope for her?
Well, I mean, it would be nice to... I'd quite like to see who this Charlie is, her ex-husband, because he's the kind of person... She's had the longest relationship with him, and yet we've never met him. It's all been off-screen. So it'd be quite interesting to see what he's like, what the dynamic has been between them that's always brought them back together again. So
there's lots of scope for Bernice, undoubtedly.
Yes.
Samantha, thank you very much. Samantha Giles. Just a quick note for our Emmerdale fans, the show's boss, Jane Hudson, is going to be joining us next week. And we would love to put your questions to her, so details of how to get in touch are on the screen now. That's it from us. Strictly's Helen Skelton will be here tomorrow, and we'll be having a Brookside reunion. Claire Sweeney and Alex Fletcher in the studio with our Sinetra. Have a wonderful day.